So, you've probably noticed something kind of weird happening online lately. The big open social media feeds, the internet's town squares, they feel a little quieter. But the private spaces, the group chats, the Discord servers, they are absolutely buzzing. The places we all hang out are changing, and that means advertising has no choice but to change too. Maybe you've seen this yourself. You're in your favorite gaming server, and suddenly a huge movie studio or a snack brand drops in to host a contest or give away some cool stuff. If you've seen that, you've already had a sneak peek at the future of advertising. So, how do we even get here? Okay, so let's dig into the first piece of this puzzle, what's being called the Great Online Migration. And this isn't just some passing trend, it's a massive shift in where people, especially younger people, are deciding to spend their time online. And look, the numbers here are, well, they're staggering. Get this, 64% of people in these online communities are spending more time there right now than they did just 2 years ago. That's not a small bump, that's a full-blown migration away from the public scroll. Okay, now this number is where it gets really interesting because it completely busts a huge myth. You'd think people in these private, tight-knit groups would want brands to just leave them alone. But nope. A whopping 82% of them are actually open to brands being there if it's done the right way. And here's the why behind that. 77% of members are actively going to these communities to find new stuff, new games, new shows, you name it. They're not just there to chat, they are in a discovery mindset. And that, of course, is the holy grail for advertisers. So you've got this huge, engaged audience, and they're ready to listen. Sounds like a dream for advertisers, right? Well, not so fast. There's a big problem. These communities are basically walled gardens. They're private, they're closed off, and old school advertising just can't get in. I mean, think about it. You can't just shove a banner ad or a pre-rolled video into a Discord server. It would stick out like a sore thumb. It'd feel clunky, invasive, and just wrong. These places are built on trust, and a clunky ad would shatter that trust in a second. It would get rejected instantly. So, if the old playbook is totally broken, what's the new one? This is where a whole new category is starting to pop up, and it's called community media. And at the forefront of this whole thing are companies like Wildfire. What they've done is build this incredible network that connects big brands to more than 48 million members across thousands of these super engaged communities. They're basically the bridge that gets you over the wall. So, what exactly is community media? Let's break it down. At its core, it's advertising that, well, it doesn't really feel like advertising. It's all about creating valuable, fun, interactive experiences that happen right inside the community. We're talking events, cool posts, and even custom games. And this slide just lays out the difference perfectly. On one hand, you've got traditional ads. It's a monologue, right? They just shout at you. But community media, that's a dialogue. It's interactive, it's woven into the community, and it speaks with you. It is a completely different way of thinking. This quote from the folks at Wildfire really just nails it. The goal isn't to blast out an ad impression. The goal is to start a real discussion. It's about making the brand a welcome part of the conversation, not an interruption to it. Okay, this all sounds really cool in theory, right? But what does it actually look like when a brand does this? Let's get into the playbook and see some real live examples. All right, first up, user-generated content competitions, or UGC. Take this Mentos campaign. Instead of just throwing an ad at Fortnite players, they did something way smarter. They challenged players to share their best in-game clips for a chance to win V-Bucks. It's fun, it's creative, and it works because it's a community event, not an ad. Next up, we've got personality quizzes. I mean, who doesn't love a good quiz, right? To promote the anime Sakamoto Days, they made a quiz asking, which assassin are you? Fans loved it, and they got a custom role and banner to show off their result. This is brilliant because it taps right into fandom and turns promotion into a social badge of honor. And hey, sometimes you just gotta keep it simple. For the Despicable Me 4 movie, the main goal was just getting the word out. So a simple prize drop in the right communities got a ton of eyes on the movie in a really positive, low-key way. It's all about generating that good buzz right where potential fans are. And look, the playbook is deep. We're talking about brands hosting live watch parties for a new movie trailer, running polls, creating scavenger hunts that span across different channels, even building little mini-games that live right inside Discord. The sky's really the limit. So we've seen the what and the how, but now for the most important part, the why. Why does this model work so well? And why might it just be the future of how brands talk to us? Well, don't just take my word for it. The results are pretty clear. Here's what a client had to say about it. They were impressed by the seamless activation and the tailored approach. And those are the key words here. It's not about one size fits all. It's about customizing everything to fit the unique vibe of each and every community. And if you look at where all this is happening, you see a really clear picture. Gaming is the absolute beast here, making up a massive 60% of these communities. But it's also blowing up in other places where people are super passionate. We're talking anime, music, movies. The common thread is that these are all spaces built around a shared passion.
But really, if you boil it all down, it comes back to one absolutely crucial word: authenticity. This all works because it's built on the trust that community owners have spent years earning with their members. The brand isn't an intruder. They're a welcome guest invited in by someone you already trust. That's a game changer.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty big question to chew on. As more and more of our social lives move from those public town squares into these private rooms, from open feeds to closed group chats, is this authentic, integrated approach going to be the only kind of advertising that can actually survive? It's definitely something you think about.